Our next speaker today is Mr. Yoshimichi Terada, who's currently serving as Vice Minister for International Affairs at the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism of Japan. Please welcome me in welcoming Mr. Terada to the stage. Thank you.
For those who are just entering the room and would like access to our simultaneous interpreted languages, English is on channel 1 and Japanese is on channel 2. Thank you.
Good afternoon. こんにちは。
Hello. I am very grateful for being given this kind of opportunity to speak. Professor Calder, Professor Gresh, Rear Admiral Argan, Ambassador Yamada, Chairman Sukuri, and all the U.S. and Japanese participants, I am sincerely thank you for the opportunity to present today. As you are well aware, securing sea lanes and strengthening supply chains have been issues for a long time. However, while these issues have been understood to be important, for a long time they have not always been addressed in a truly necessary manner. With the recent events that have undermined sea lanes and supply chains, I feel that there really is finally a common understanding that mere optimism is not sufficient and that a more effective response is needed. In Japan as well, various systems related to economic security have been put in place over the past few years. However, I believe that further study is necessary. So the timing of this symposium is timely for both countries, and I hope that this will provide a great opportunity for Japan and U.S. cooperation in this area. First, I would like to review the significance of sea lanes and the supply chains. It is extremely important for the peace and security of countries around the world to strengthen a maritime order and ensure freedom of navigation and safety. Additionally, as risks surrounding the global economy diversify, we believe that building a supply chain that emphasizes sustainability is the key to making the supply chain more resilient, so that it can flexibly respond to various changes in circumstances, including contingencies, in order to continue production and transportation. This is a global map that I'm showing here. Japan relies on imports for almost all of its crude oil, and its dependence on in the Middle East accounts for about 95%. Ensuring stable transportation and safety at choke points such as the Strait of Hormuz and the Malacca and Singapore Strait is a top priority. There is a greater variety of risks to supply chains and sea lanes compared to before. I believe there are 4 of them. First is the geopolitical risk. As you all know, situation in the East Asia region is unpredictable. And in the Middle East, the situation is truly serious. The Red Sea is being constantly attacked by the Houthis, and navigation of the Red Sea has become impossible. In particular, the Galaxy Leader, operated by NYK, a Japanese shipping company, has been captured along with its crew and has yet to be released. We are resolutely protesting and demanding the immediate release and cessation of such attacks. The Russian-Ukrainian conflict not only made navigation of the Black Sea difficult, but also has heightened, there is also a heightened risk of the piracy activities as well. Next is the climate change and natural disaster risk. Since last year, the Panama Canal has been in drought due to low rainfall. limiting the number of vessels to about 2/3 of normal operations at some point. And Japan also has been affected by typhoons and earthquakes. The third is the pandemic risk. During the global spread of the novel coronavirus, disruptions in maritime transportation stemming from congestion in ports and land transportation had a global impact. Japan also have come up with many countermeasures. However, it only highlighted the vulnerability of supply chains. The fourth is cybersecurity. Last year in Japan, a cyber attack caused a system failure at the port of Nagoya, resulting in a loss of port functions for approximately 3 days. The port of Nagoya is the most advanced port in terms of IT due to its integrated management, but the risks associated with this have become apparent. In addition, given the broad deployment of shipping information platforms that contribute to the digital transformation of logistics and the use of open networks, we need to be more vigilant about cyber risks. Here is an overview of the current state of the Japanese maritime industry. In Japan, there is a cluster of diverse industries known as the Maritime Cluster. Various peripheral industries have developed, including shipping, shipbuilding, as well as finance, insurance, and trading. Japanese shipping and shipbuilding remain a global force. However, in recent years, as for the Japanese merchant fleet, the Japanese flag vessels account for 10%. And now, next, I would like to introduce some initiatives in Japan's maritime industry. First is the shipbuilding sector. Japan has set a goal of securing the top share of orders for next generation fuels by 2030 by responding quickly. For next generation ships by 2030 by responding quickly to next generation fuels in order to continue to lead the world shipbuilding industry. Last year, a goal of zero GHG emissions by 2050 was agreed upon at the IMO. Japan has been proactive in proposing to the IMO a system design that combines fuel regulations and incentives. Next, in the shipping sector, we provide support to ship owners as well as shipping companies to encourage stable ship ownership. Japan's tonnage standard tax system encourages shipping companies to secure Japanese flag vessels and crews. So, back in 2007, the Japanese flag vessels was 92. But in 2023, that number has grown to 311. Next is about Japanese ports. The international logistics between North America and Asia is a major artery of the global economy, but there are concerns about geopolitical risks. The international logistics system is built on the basis of economic rationality. However, we do need to take into account the geopolitical risk as well, and that there is a need to strengthen our nation's port functions. Discussions are also underway in terms of the green shipping corridor. This is being spoke about in the Quad to introduce this corridor and others. And we would like to move forward in cooperation with other countries. Additionally, I would like to say a few words about the role of a country's Coast Guard. I'd like to see former Commandant Ishii is here, but I would like to make a few words. The Japan Coast Guard conducts cooperation, capacity building support, and others. At the Quad Summit in September this year, the leaders agreed to launch the Quad at Sea Ship Observer mission among Japan, US, Australia, and India. With regard to counter-piracy, for example, in the Gulf of Aden, off the coast of Somalia, Japan Coast Guard officers accompanied the dispatch of Maritime Self-Defense Force escort vessels. Next, I would like to talk about the supply chain strengthening and how to strengthen the sea lane. First, as for the peacetime preparedness, I believe there are three things we can do. First, we need to create a common international awareness that the resilience of supply chains is a common global interest. And we do need to keep a close eye on the supply situation of infrastructure for geopolitical risks. Additionally, we need to bring resiliency in supply chains so that alternative networks can be built within the economic mechanism. In times of contingency, in addition to ensuring the safety of sea lanes, transportation resources at the minimum level must be made available. Regarding vessels and ports, I believe that a certain amount of leeway is needed in infrastructure, and that sharing and coordination among authorities and companies should be promoted from peacetime while taking market conditions into consideration. And not just your own country's vessels or seafarers, we must secure various vessels to have a good balance in the ship's registry. And also, the shipbuilding industry should strategically secure resources, and attention should be made to its role as a foundation for ship repair as well as for its dealing with next generation of vessels. It is also important to discuss international cooperation and role sharing, and this is something that I just heard today already. And this is something, just as a reference, I would like to talk about. This is in regards to the Malacca-Singapore Strait and Japan's effort in this. As a major user of the strait, Japan has provided support and cooperation to the three in this area, And then currently, due to the fact that there are many more or diversification of the user countries, a cooperation mechanism was established in 2007 in order to promote this together with coastal countries in other countries. We believe such multilateral efforts can be a good example for other choke points in this world. Finally, I would like to introduce some implications for Japan-U.S. cooperation with regard to supply chain resilience and securing sea lanes. First, bear in mind the potentially important role of the Japan-U.S. shipping route. We believe that industry, government, and academia in both countries need to work together to share and develop policies and knowledge. Second, it is important to increase the interest and commitment of European countries toward Asia. And we believe it is desirable for Japan and the U.S. to cooperate in this effort. Third, I would like to emphasize that shared values through the realization of a free and open Asia-Pacific will contribute to the strengthening of supply chains and the stability of sea lanes. In the end, I would like to conclude my presentation by saying that my belief is that it is essential for Japan and the United States to cooperate with each other based on the alliance and to involve many other countries concerned, along with like-minded countries. Thank you very much for your attention.